Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a very special cake recipe for you guys. In Ukraine, we have a famous cake called the Kyiv Cake, and today I'm going to be sharing my take on it, the Hazelnut Meringue Cake. You guys are going to love all the flavors and textures in this cake. And to put this beauty together, I've prepared my basic sponge cake, my chocolate ganache filling, and my salted caramel frosting. It's going to go so well on this cake. I'm going to include all the video links and the recipes down in the video description box. Now let's get started on the hazelnut meringue. It's so crunchy and delicious. To make our meringue, I've measured out 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar, and I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. It's going to help stabilize the egg whites. If you don't have it, just add in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Just going to combine that together with the sugar. I'm going to place 6 large egg whites that I've brought up to room temperature into my mixer bowl and begin whisking on medium speed. And at the same time, I'm going to gradually add in my sugar and cream of tartar mixture. And once you've added all the sugar, just keep whisking this mixture for about 8 to 10 minutes until you get stiff and glossy peaks. And check out this meringue, isn't it gorgeous? It should hold its shape, it should be really nice and stiff, glossy, almost like a marshmallow cream. Into my meringue, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 cup of chopped hazelnuts. Just take a spatula and gently fold that into the meringue. And I'm going to transfer the meringue into a large pastry bag tipped with a round tip. Just transfer all of it into here. And to bake the meringue, I've lined 2 8-inch cake pans with parchment paper on the bottom. And now I'm going to pipe the meringue into the pans. Alternatively, you could draw 8-inch circles onto parchment paper and then place the paper onto a baking sheet and pipe the meringue directly onto the paper. You'll need to bake the meringue at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 hours. Yes, you heard that right. It takes a long time to slowly extract all the moisture out of the egg whites. In the end, you should have a hollow sounding, dry, crispy meringue that's going to be the perfect filling for this cake. You can even make the meringue 3, even 4 days ahead of time. Just make sure to keep it wrapped really well in plastic. My meringue is all done. I let it cool overnight, and then I'm gonna tap it so you guys can hear what it sounds like. It has a nice hollow sound, it's crispy, it's firm, and now we're ready to assemble our cake. I prepared my sponge cake layers in 8-inch pans, let them cool completely, and then take a long serrated knife to cut the layer in half. I'm going to start with 1/2 of my sponge cake layer, and I'm going to soak each layer with frangelico hazelnut liqueur. If you don't want to add alcohol, you can simply use hazelnut syrup. I'm going to soak the layer, and sponge cake is perfect for soaking up liquids and flavoring cakes. I'm going to add on my chocolate ganache filling and take my spatula and spread that evenly to the edges. It's going to be such a great flavor combination with the hazelnut and the meringue. Next, I'm going to add on a generous amount of my salted caramel frosting and add my first meringue layer. I'm gonna press it into the frosting so it all sticks together. Top that off with some caramel frosting. And now it's time to garnish the top. I've melted a little bit of chocolate, placed it into a disposable pastry bag, and I'm going to drizzle that over the top. I've transferred my remaining caramel frosting into a pastry bag, and today I'm using tip number 8FT, and I'm going to pipe little dollops onto the top of the cake. I've also transferred my chocolate ganache filling into a pastry bag. I'm going to pipe little dollops of that as well. And then add a few roasted hazelnuts to finish things off. I'm going to grab a long serrated knife. You want to make sure that it's extra sharp to cut through the meringue layer, and then gently slice into the cake. And check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? We've got our chocolate layer, sponge cake, meringue. This is going to taste so delicious. And that's it, guys, for my hazelnut meringue cake. Isn't it a stunner? I love all those gorgeous layers on the inside. When you're making this at home, we'll let the cake set for about 2 to 3 hours in the refrigerator. The caramel frosting and the chocolate ganache are going to pull all those layers together, and it's going to be much easier to cut into. And now it's time to dig in and enjoy this cake. I'm going to get a combination of a little bit of everything. Wow, that is the word to describe this cake. You guys are going to love the combination of the textures and the flavors here. You get that creamy caramel frosting, silky chocolate ganache filling, soft sponge cake, a little bit of that hazelnut liqueur, and then bam, you've got that crunchy hazelnut meringue. The combination of all those textures and flavors is just spectacular in your mouth. You guys are going to love this cake. If you do want to make it, head down into my video description box. I left all the links to the recipes and the written instructions on my website as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.